one word you didn't say. I'm curious if you would say it now. Did you have any type of resentment at that time?
Oh yeah. Um, yeah.
And what caused that resentment?
Having to bear responsibility that I was the one that had to make it work. That the responsibility was 100% on me. And if it wasn't 100%, it was more than 90%. Um,
Yeah.
there are other pieces that go into that I found out later. Um, but it just seemed like I had to bear everything on my shoulders to make it work. And I couldn't
Yeah.
do it. I couldn't do it. It was too much. And it wasn't going to change.
And so obviously there's a lot of financial implication. I should say implication. A lot of financial reality. We are talking about a true budget. We're talking about numbers, expenses, everything else. That kind of caused all of this emotion to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But would you agree that, or I guess, what would your response be to this? Had Number one, had the money actually been there, would you still have some issues? If the money was there to cover all the expenses, but she was still bringing this pile of receipts and you were having to manage it and she was kind of doing her own thing, would there still have been the same type of feelings and emotions, or was it simply because there wasn't money there?
Um, there would have still been issues, but we wouldn't have felt, or I wouldn't have felt the impact of the issues because I would have had funds to cover. I would have had a band-aid in essence. Um,
Yeah.
and let's go back to budgeting. When you have a household of two and you spend $300 a week on groceries, Austin, what's your first thought?
Somebody's buying way too many brand name items.
Yeah. And it was Walmart, it was Target. I don't recall what the rest of them were, but as I kind of mentioned before, she wasn't happy, and her way
Mhm.
of getting even or making things better was to buy stuff.